Ford Maverick scheduling. Let's talk all about Ford Maverick scheduling, and let's talk about just general Ford models. What's getting scheduled, what's not getting scheduled this week, and what's just not getting scheduled point final because, well, it has something on the order that's just not currently buildable. And we'll also be talking about what your order might not have when you receive it. So I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, and I'm here to help. So let's just jump right in, put the pedal to the metal, and talk about what the Maverick will be missing. So the Maverick, currently, if you do get scheduled, you can expect to be built without the Wi-Fi hotspot. So what is Wi-Fi hotspot? Well, that's really, previously, Mavericks were getting 3 gigabytes to use up, and that's off the 4G LTE Wi-Fi network. So you're basically getting free internet for a short period of time, 3 gigabytes, and your vehicle could just give out internet to the people inside the vehicle. Now, most of us have phones, and we're okay not having that. So I don't think this is going to be crushingly bad news for very many people. Most of us are just fine getting the internet off our phones that already has the internet. But this was allowing your vehicle to just give out that internet. And it was free. And after that, to remain functional, you had to pay AT&T about $20 a month to continue to have it. So essentially it's kind of like having another phone plan, but it's an internet plan for your car. I guess that's the best way for your Maverick. Let's not call that a car, it's a truck. And it's not a trucklet, it's just a small truck. So that's what's going on with that. Now I must say, a $20 credit for not having this function, well, I think a lot of people don't end up using it. $20 isn't a whole lot, but that's generally the case when we lose these little functions that require more microchips. Generally, it's a small credit. So let's get into what's scheduling this week. In case you're only going to watch part of this episode, it's good to know if you should get your hopes up and take the time to check your emails or not. So scheduling this week, what do we got coming down the pipeline, you could say? Well, good news, 2022 model year Broncos are scheduling this week. Bronco Sport, Edge, Escape, Explorer, F-150, all 2022s getting scheduled. But F-150s that are getting scheduled, very limited in what you will see. So you want to just listen a little bit further for sure if you're an F-150 buyer. Lincoln, you can expect possibly to get your 2023 Aviator built, 2022 model year Corsair, and 22 model year Nautilus. Now, do keep in mind that, something like the Aviator, Navigator, Expedition, dealers probably won't be getting very many of these for inventory. And just generally at Ford, if you're sitting back thinking to yourself, I'm going to wait for Ford to have inventory. Well, you might be waiting a very long time because, well, Ford's focusing on taking care of their clients who have ordered and their clients who are waiting for a model. So that's who's getting built currently. Dealers are getting sent, for most models, no inventory, and for certain models, very limited inventory. Basically, factory can build so much, and if the factory can build, let's say, 8,000 units in a month, but it can only build, 6,000 of X, Y, and Z, well, they might send the leftover parts basically to dealers as inventory. So basically, they're not just going to have parts sitting around. If they can get those parts in from suppliers and build a vehicle, they're not just going to stall the factory, send people home because they can't build what's currently been ordered by clients. So there will be a very tiny little bit of inventory for very select models. Now we know, I broke the story a little while ago that easily the first month, but likely the first few months of production of 2023 Broncos, Ford's going to really be focusing in on building the leftover, the old orders for people who've been waiting a really long time. It's really unfortunate that you have waited this long, but the good news is Ford's focusing in on you, and really dealers will get a very limited amount of inventory of Broncos, basically for Bronco parts that were sitting around that they can just scrap together and build a Bronco instead of, once again, stalling the factory. So if you're an F-150 order, whether you're gonna order or you're currently you currently have ordered. So here's the thing, there's no availability on stock orders, but this lets us know that retail orders, that's customer, us, our orders, very limited, because if they don't have any for stock, it's very limited. So 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost engine. You will be waiting a little longer currently because they don't have all that many 2.7s. We'll talk about percentages just a little bit later. 3.5 liter V6 Power Boost, so that's the hybrid engine. That's also limited. So Ford's not sending any of those engines as inventory. They're saving them for customers, but it does show that even as a customer, limited availability. So there's probably more demand here than there actually is supply. So you might want to consider avoiding some of these things on your order or removing them or swapping them if you haven't been built yet, if you haven't been scheduled, if you haven't been scheduled. If you have a build date, you're good to go. Don't worry at all. So basically, no availability on XLT 300A, Limited, King Ranch, Platinum, Tremor, heated steering wheels, so that's very limited, which is included on the 402A and 502A and above, twin panel moonroof. If you've been waiting a while for your F-150 to get built and you've got a twin panel moonroof, that's one of the reasons. Power deployable running board, so the moonroof, more microchips. Same thing with the running boards. This is the theme of this episode. If you've got options that require a whole lot more microchips, they're having trouble building yours. Now, here's one that has nothing to do with microchips, and that's the extended length running boards, as well as 18-inch chrome-like PVD wheels. So those are your 18-inch chrome wheels or chrome-looking wheels on the XTR, as well as Lariat Chrome. So avoid those if you can, or swap them out. XLT Lariat black appearance package. If you've been waiting to get a build for quite some time and you've got that, well, that's not top. 20-inch mags. So that's the BSW, so black sidewall all-terrain tire. Sorry, not the mags, but the 20-inch black sidewall all-terrain tires. Wheel liners, why wheel liners? There's no microchips there. Well, because it's plastic. And, well, you guessed it, plastic is in short supply and high demand. And Pro Power on board. So that's the 2 kilowatt power that's available in the back of the bed. It's an option. It's about, 1,300 Canadian, so it must be about 1,100 US. If you have that on your order, you might consider removing it to actually get scheduled. I am actually seeing 301s getting scheduled, just straight 301s, XLT 301s getting scheduled. Now, what other vehicles are getting scheduled this week? The Mach-E, 22 model year Maverick. So I checked today, still no build date for Marie, and I'll need to check this week. So drop in on the live. It won't be the main subject of the live, obviously, but I'll see if I have a build date on an Everglades Bronco, because that has now been either delayed a month, or maybe the dealership that's supposed to be providing this. Maybe I'm getting the runaround, but I'll let you all know about that story. But if you're a Maverick order, you might get great news this week. I do wish you great news. I hope you get it scheduled this week. I know we ordered July 17th. The order got accepted on the 30th of July of 2021. But if you're a Maverick and you're a Lux package, that's a delay. Now, if you're an EcoBoost Lux package, the delay isn't that bad. It generally can add 2 to 3 months. There are differences dealer to dealer. Hybrid though, well, hybrid is its own whole delay, and if you're hybrid luxury package, well then, like us, you've probably been waiting an extremely long time. Now, I've driven that hybrid many times. We still feel it's definitely worth our wait time. We're very happy with it. from our test drives. We test drove it in snowstorms, and hey, I won't talk about it too much because I've got 2 or 3 videos of us driving in snowstorms. So I'll let you just watch those videos and see how well it did and how much we enjoyed it. Now, if you've ordered a 2022 model year Mustang, you might get great news this year. Same thing for the Super Duty, Econoline, medium truck, and Transit. And Transit, they're, well, really Econoline, medium truck, and Transit, all 2023 model year. So, not scheduling this week. The Expedition, Transit Connect, van and wagon, F-150, 2023 F-150s, Ranger, and 2022 Navigator. So just to clarify, 2022 model year F-150s are scheduling this week, but not 2023s. You might ask, how's that possible? Well, there's more than one factory that builds F-150s, and while one factory will be building 2023s, possibly just a little bit before the other factory. Now let's talk a little bit more about what else your Ford order might be missing. So if you've ordered an Explorer, I covered this months ago, but second row controls for the heating, well, guess what? Your kids can't play around with their own temperature. The people up front, generally the parents, are gonna decide what temperature the kids get. So boo-hoo, I don't think there's a lot of people crying over this one, unless you have really picky teens, in which case you deserve to cry, because teens that don't get what they want, I hear can be problematic. So basically, Expedition. So Expedition, the second row, one touch, up and down, power windows, well, that's getting removed. So because of microchip shortages, if you're waiting on an Expedition, well, when it comes down, your second row, unfortunately, sorry to tell you, if it's your kids, they might not mind so much. As adults, we're busy and we're a little impatient, so the one touch is nice. When you're a driver, you can just one touch everything, but the second row won't have that option. So people sitting in the second row, when they hit it once, the window won't go straight down. So that's what's going to be missing off of that. And if you've ordered a Lincoln and you're waiting on it, ask yourself and you can call your dealer right up and ask them, what can I take off my order to be built sooner? And generally, things like massaging seats, TVs in the back of the front seats, really anything that requires a whole lot of extra microchips, there's a good chance taking it off is going to make things go by quicker. I'm not going to go through every Lincoln model, but that just basically summarizes it quite well. Now, if you have a model with foot activated power lift gate, so your back hatch, trunk, whatever you want to call it, the area in the back with the gate that goes up and down, well, you can keep your electric function for going up and down. Generally, if you want to increase your chance of getting built sooner instead of possibly a good amount later, do consider removing the foot activated option. Now that's basically true for all the models that have foot activation. That's when you put your foot underneath the bumper and it's your foot that makes the door go open instead of pressing it on the key. Or, when you have the key on you, you just press the little button generally near the Ford or Lincoln logo in the back. Well, if you remove that, generally every model, that is a huge help. Now, if you've ordered an F-150 in smoked quartz, you're not going to get scheduled because that option has balanced out, which means it's not available. So you need to change your color. Very important that you know that. And I believe Towtech package, ideally, if you're not scheduled yet, you really want to remove Towtech package unless you're just willing to wait longer for your F-150. And it's okay to just want your vehicle exactly the way you want it. There's a lot of people that, for the Maverick, basically any added accessory, whether it's a bed cover, whether it's a plastic box, a spray and bed liner, all of that has been adding delays. Mud guards have been adding delays. And now for many, many months, I've generally been saying, take a straight XLT, XL, or Lariat and don't any accessories, just take them from the parts department when the vehicle gets in. Now, of course, you can't get the full Lux package from your parts department. You can't get a heated steering wheel. That can't be added. Heated seats can be added. They won't be Ford. They're going to be aftermarket. But generally, if you want the heated exterior mirrors from the Lux package and the heated steering wheel from the Lux package, go with the Lux package. You're not going to get that aftermarket, but any bed covers, bed liners, all those goodies, don't order them from factory. And if you already have, take them off your order, please. It'll help move things forward. Now, continuing right along, this almost covers everything. Just to let you know, the F-150 Lightning. If you've been transitioned from a 2022 model, so that means, you're supposed to get built, but you couldn't be built because the particular model you want was sold out, which means you went into the dealer, you really built it all up, you signed all sorts of paperwork, and your order, you're told, hey, you're getting a 2022, but then it wasn't buildable. Well, when you do transition to 2023, if you're in Canada, you're not going to have a price protection. If you're in the United States, you should get emailed a rebate, a private offer, and that's just going to help everything balance out and should pay the price increase. Now let's talk about build percentages. If you've ordered a Bronco, just do keep in mind 2.7 liter EcoBoost can consist of 71% of all the build. So 2.7 liter EcoBoost is coming along really well. The percentage is really high, and that is fantastic Bronco news. The Wildtrak, 21%. I do highly suspect that more than 21% of people have ordered a Wildtrak. So if you've ordered a Wildtrak, you're at a dealer that has a lot of Wildtrak orders, that's definitely something that can slow down the process when it's only at 21%. The Sasquatch package is at 44%, so that's worrying me less than it once did. The Lux package, things are going much better than they were in very early months of production. We're at 43%, so 43% of all Broncos can actually take Lux package. I know my original Bronco, I liked the idea of the Lux package, and I didn't take it because it was quite restrained at first because a whole lot more people had asked for it than what the factory could actually build. But at 43%, this is great news. Hardtop molded in color roof, 60%. So that's also great news. And that's why I've actually seen some hardtops recently come in relatively quickly. The 3-door, 2-door is at 15%. So that's still a longer wait, especially if you had a dealership that had a lot of 2-doors ordered. So hopefully you have a good relationship with your sales consultant and they can verify what's in the system and give you a good idea. If you're on the fence between a 2-door and a 3-door, maybe you might want to consider switching to a 4-door. Now, Ford does recommend going soft top to get built faster, and Ford does absolutely recommend removing the paint protection film. And I'll tell you, it's because it's only at 2%. Only 2% of Broncos that get built can have paint production. So if 12% or 20% of people asked for that, well, that's a sure way to be scheduled in a very long period of time. Locking front axle is fantastic now, 68%. So a lot of the issues behind that are gone. Full-time four-wheel drive, 69%. So that's basically gotten to the point to match demand. So that's fantastic. Ford has worked hard, obviously, to get those numbers up for that. Modular front bumper, 38%. So that is also good because that had previously been much lower. The towing capability, 51%. So that's gone up a lot over the last few months. And Safari Bar, 16%. So Safari Bar is something I would also avoid and just get aftermarket. Aftermarket or from the parts department at Ford, at your Ford local dealer or online. Now, speaking of online, currently with the Woodward Dream Cruise, you can get a 20% rebate. So you just have to put Woodward as the code and you get a 20% rebate until August 26th. August 26th, sorry. So you have until the end of the week. So great news there if you're thinking about spending money, but there is a limit. It's up to $1,000 for that 20%. So basically you can get $200 off. Now the Super Duty, Things to remove. You want to remove the spray and bed liner. You want to remove fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package, and I can attest to that. I've had 2 Super Duties come in only 6 months' time when the average is more around a year and a half. And it came in fast because no spray and bed liner. And for those that say, well, I can't live without a fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package, you can always have the bars installed afterwards. Now, I do love the system from Ford. The little holes that they've got little caps. You drop your gooseneck or your ball right in. It's ideal. Really ideal. But if you're in a real hurry to get built, I'm just here to give options. You want to avoid tonneau cover. You want to avoid active steering when possible. You want to avoid the 19.5-inch forged polished aluminum wheel, which is standard on the F450 series. And you want to, at all costs, avoid black appearance package on the Lariat. So those are things that are slowing things down. Now, on a different note, oddly, for the 2023 Ranger, your order is going to need to have a remote start system, 50B code, to be eligible to schedule. So that's odd to me, and we'll see how long that actually stays up. Now, just a final reminder, also consider for the Bronco, beyond the soft top black cloth roof, taking that, removing paint protection, they also suggest taking a 2.3 liter engine to speed things up. Mind you, the percentages have gone up on 2.7 liter, but there's just your proof that most dealerships got way too many 2.7 liter V6 twin turbo orders. And I can understand, it's a fantastic engine. I love the 2.7 liter. It has both port and direct injection. I love the technology behind that motor, but the 2.3 liter, it served very well in the Focus RS. It has been serving very, very well in the Ford Mustang. I owned one with a 2.3 liter, had a blast, love its torque. It's been doing a great job in the Ranger. And if you think the Bronco, a 4-cylinder 2.3 liter is too small for the Bronco, I've tested it, and with the 10-speed automatic, it actually goes quite well. And do keep in mind that GMC's 1500 now, the motor that they're promoting and pushing, is a 2.7 liter, not like Ford's 2.7 liter, but it's a 4-cylinder 2.7 liter. So unless you're, wanting to race around and race people at lights and at the drags with your Bronco, which I don't get it, but different strokes for different folks, and that's okay. But if that's not your thing, just racing and dragging everyone, well then great, the 2.3 liter is a fine option. Now, most models do have active park assist 2.0 removal as an option. Talk to your dealer, talk to your sales consultant, remove active park assist unless you absolutely need it. That's when the vehicle parks itself. Most people do not use this, and it's just come standard on certain model trims for quite some time. So maybe from all of this, Ford will, and really every manufacturer, I hope, will consider and really ask themselves what options are really necessary, because maybe it's time to start investing instead of fancy tech that people don't use. Maybe it's time to offer different things. I think what's been a huge success behind the Bronco is you can actually get a Bronco relatively unequipped, but still have an awesome off-road vehicle. So that's a good example of less tech, more vehicle, and a whole lot of sales. Too many sales, really. And that's really been the problem. Sometimes people are frustrated with Ford and they're saying, what the heck? Ford is selling these with markups. Ford's not, that Ford, it's all planned. They want to, they're getting more money out of this on the Bronco. When the dealer does markup, Ford doesn't win anything. They don't make an extra cent. They don't make an extra dollar, and it's bad marketing for them. It hurts them. Only person that benefits is the dealer that's doing it, and I think it's very short term of them, because I think they're benefiting themselves in the short term, and I think in the long run they're going to lose that client. Maybe a client does buy for an extra 20 over. You've lost a client right there, maybe quite possibly for the vehicle later down the road. especially if it's their order that you're trying to mark up. And the people that have lost their orders, well, they're not going to be buying back from you, and they're going to tell people about it. And the people around them aren't going to go to your dealer. So I hope dealers do absolutely keep that in mind. Now, if you are looking at an Expedition, my brother got his Stealth Edition, absolutely loves it. But currently dual exhaust system, which is standard on the Timberline, and limited steel performance package. Well, that feature, it'll cause it to take longer to schedule, as well as the mahogany interior trim. That's code EB. That's going to take longer as well. Now, if you are ordering, will be or have ordered a Mach-E 2022, and you haven't been scheduled yet, well, you're not going to get scheduled unless you have active park assist prep kit chosen. So what does that mean? That means, and I mentioned earlier, any chance you have, remove active park assist. Well, when it's active park assist prep kit, basically that means your vehicle gets, the basics. It basically gets the programming to have the vehicle park itself, but not the hardware. The hardware will come later to the dealer and they'll put it into your vehicle. So when it's a prep kit, that just means you're not removing the option permanently. When I say prep kit in this video and previous videos, prep kit means you're going to get it later, installed by the dealer. Removal means it's gone, it's not coming back. So the up down feature on the windows on the Expeditions, though, that's gone. That's not coming back. For the Edge, you need to remove adaptive cruise control to have a much better chance of getting built in a reasonable amount of time. So just consider what's on your current, I'm going to conclude with this. If you've currently ordered a vehicle, or you're currently going to order a vehicle, it's a good time to think, what can I live with? What can I live without? And if the without part has, if you figure it's electrical, it has microchips, well, if you can live without it and it has microchips, you'll get your vehicle sooner. If you don't mind waiting and you just want it, full out, fully equipped, then that's fine too. But I want you all to know, because like I say, I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, and I'm here to help. So I hope you've made it this far in the video. And if you have, do please leave a comment, write finisher in the comment section, because, well, comments help me know where we're at. It helps the community grow, so we get more information and more intel. Speaking of which, one of our community members just this week mentioned that their Maverick got pushed, their build got pushed 3 times. So their build date, and then their arrival time got pushed 3 times as well. 3 seems to be their lucky number, and I want to say, in the sense that I have yet to hear of a case of someone being delayed 4 times on the build. And yes, getting delayed 3 times on the build date, yeah, 3 delays for when you get it, that just kind of makes sense. So if you've already been pushed 3 times, the good news is you're probably not going to get pushed a 4th time. I've mentioned in the past before, I think this had a lot to do with the airbag recall, because Ford didn't want to send off vehicles that had faulty airbags once they found out the problem. So there's a bit of holding back of vehicles, but they're working through that. It did cause delays. So I want to grow this community, because that way we'll get more information. We'll have more fun in the live sessions. So this Friday, there will almost certainly be a live session at 7:30 p.m. And if ever that live session doesn't happen, well, it'll be replaced with a vehicle review. Because sometimes life happens, and I'm, aim for a weekly live on Fridays, but life can happen, and it'll be a review instead. That will come out that evening as a premiere, so we can still chat, and worst case scenario, Saturday early afternoon, when it is a car review where we're just chatting. So thank you so much for watching. Do hit like. And please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe, because it does help feed a poodle. In the meantime, I do wish you all more cars and more power, and hope you get to put the pedal to the metal if that's your thing. Take care and see you soon.